Hello, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Today is October 25th, 2022. This week, we are going to be looking at Alameda County in the East Bay. Some big companies there that you might have heard of that are headquartered there are Pixar, everybody's favorite Disney animation studio, Kaiser, Chevron, right? And formerly the Golden State Warriors, right? As well as the Raiders. Luckily, we still have the A's there. All right, so let's jump right on into the stats. Okay, so we're looking at the number of active homes for sale in single family in Alameda County. You can see there's a cyclical trend here, right? So the last 2 years been quite low, and we're kind of returning, I would say, back a little bit more normalized on the inventory levels. So let's run to October. So here in October, we can see that the number of actives is definitely higher than the last 2 years, but still below what they were in 2019 and 2018. So if we see here, just looking at 2022, you can see the inventory picking up and peaking right in July and started to come down a little bit here, right, the last 3 months. So the next stat we can look at will be the number of pendings, right, which are sellers have accepted an offer, right, so they're in contract. So we can see here the cyclical trend as well, right? And we can see here we are definitely lower, right, than the last few years, right? So the last 2 years we're in the thousands pending per month, and now we're only less than 500 so far for October, right? You can see the number peaking in March here, right, for 2022. All right, next stat we'll look at is days on market, right? So here we go. Right, so we can see it was kind of creeping up, right? And now it's on a little bit on the decline, right? So we're at about 15 days. So 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks to get an offer accepted on a house, single family house in Alameda County. Right, so it was down to the single digits, right, last year, and now we kind of picked up back to double digits here. Last thing to look at would be the prices. We're going to run the median sales price. So you can see here it's been a steady incline, right? So let's jump deep into the numbers, right? So we're definitely down, right, from last year and also from the beginning of the year, right? So we can see here, we peaked at $1.5 million for the median price in the county for Alameda County. And now it's come down to 1.2. But if we jump all the way back to pre-COVID, right? So 2018 and 2019, we can see there's still quite a bit of appreciation, right? So from about 900,000 to 1.2 million, right? So $300,000 gain in the median sales price. Now, let's look at condos and townhouses, right? See how those compare. So let's we can work backwards on that. So let's look at the median sales price, right? So we've had a little bit of appreciation, right? And it's definitely come down, right? So at the peak, it was $822,000 at the beginning of this year. Now we're down to 700, right? If we go all the way back to 2018, right, we can see there has been a little bit of appreciation, right, from 632,500, right, to 720. And for October, 650 to $700,000. Once again, this is looking at condos and townhouses in Alameda County. All right, so let's start at the beginning, number for sale. So actives. So we can see the cyclical trend, seasonal trend, right? And we're on the downslope as we're coming into fall and winter, right? And we can see it's been quite steady, right? The number for sale, actives, right? And you can see it's the low of this year was January, right? And the peak was in July of 668. Similar in terms of the low to peak on the single families as well. So now let's look at the pendings, right? So they've definitely dropped. So let's look at the chart here, right? We can see a little bit of seasonality as well. And here's the drop here, right? So things have really slowed down, number of transactions, right? And one of the causes, of course, is interest rates, right? So we're seeing a lot of interest rates in the 7%, right? So whereas earlier they were in the threes, and in certain cases even in a 2% range. That's really decreased buying power. So you can see here, pendings are definitely lower, right? And you can see the peak here for this year was 440, right, for March. So lastly, last stat we'll look at is days on market. Right, so that's definitely creeped up, right, from earlier, and you can see a little bit of seasonal trend. There's a huge jump here, right, from the beginning of COVID. Right, so we're at about 3 weeks, right? So 21 days and 19 days. So that's about a 7-day, taking about 1 week longer to get in a contract than pre-COVID, right? And during the hottest times, right, during COVID, it was taking a little over a week, right? So 8 days here, the beginning of the year. All right. So that wraps up our stats for Alameda County, right? Some of the big picture takeaways I would say is things are definitely taking a little bit longer to sell, and prices are definitely lower than they were at the beginning of the year and the last 2 years. What I advise is there's can be a good time to consider purchasing if you can afford the higher interest rates, because there's definitely less competition out there right now. Tune in next week for more stats, and hope everyone has an awesome rest of your day. Thank you.